Lyle says hello. Well, welcome in, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February the 12th, 2019. And Lyle says hello. Oh, there he goes. There's Lyle. There he goes. Speaking of Lyle, if you remember back in 2013, I built this little Intel NUC. It's the next unit. Hey, you're squeaking. Stop squeaking. You need some oil? I built this Intel NUC, which is a Core i3, back in April of 2013. And it works great to this day. We just did a video upgrading it from Windows 7 to Windows 10. It was a free upgrade. But how far has the NUC line come in the last 6 years? That's what we're going to cover today with this video, where we're going to do a bare bones install. Buying a NUC, you still get the advantage of building your own computer. Settle. It's okay. He's excited that we're building a NUC. Yeah, it's a NUC. I know. Can you believe it? All right. Let's start things off the right way. Cheers. I got my Coke. I got my smile. I got a Coke and a smile. Tony Wallow kicks us off with a contribution of $1.99. Hey, thank you, Tony. Thanks for kicking us off with the contribution. We're going to wait a few minutes to get started to make sure people have time to jump in, get the notification that I'm live, and then we'll pick it up. In the meantime, let's say hello to some folks joining us in the chat. I know Lyle, it's just crazy. He's so excited. He can't wait for me to get started. I got my new 4K camera today, which I'm excited to start using, but I have a little bit of work to do. I'll show it to you, though. I'm proudly display. Your contributions all go back into the channel for things like this monster right here. This is the Canon, this is the XF400, and I'm hoping it's going to do what I need it to do with regards to being able to film all these live segments here in the kitchen in 4K and then still shoot all of the video capture stuff from the computers in 1080, because at 4K it'd be too small for you guys to see it, quite honestly. This is a monster, and it is... So far, I'm very impressed with it, although I've not had much time to use it much. It's a completely different format. You'll see it's even got an Ethernet port on the side of it. And even the SD cards go in. I'm trying to remember how the SD cards go in. They kind of go in like, I think they go in like this. Oh, there's a release. You move the release, and then the SD card slot pops up, and there's room for 2 of them in there. So you just push on that, SD card comes out, and put that back in, close that back down, and it's got a lens cover, which is really cool. I can put 2 microphone inputs, and I can adjust the settings on the microphones individually. They're on the camera itself, which is a huge upgrade from what I had. Can still add my wireless mic or a light on top. And got a zoom here. I can zoom. I can also zoom here. And my favorite feature is this little switch right here that says focus or zoom. So when I turn this dial, I can either use this dial to focus or flip the switch and use it to zoom. When I zoom this camera, it moves in steps, which is kind of hard for me to get it to adjust. But with this, I can get more precise to where, you know, I want to get right to the edge of that counter. And this sucker is big, it's heavy, so it makes me feel like I got my money's worth. The screen's also a lot bigger, so I can see much better versus the other screen. It's also infrared. I'm not quite sure when I would use that. And this top handle does come off. There's 2 screws right back here. And then you can pull this whole top piece off and use it, you know, like the regular camcorders that I've got with the 2 shoes if I want to put... you know, a microphone receiver and a light or something else on it. It also has the built-in stereo mics like the others, and yeah, it'll shoot in 4K. But I do need to get a 4K capture card. I've been working with the folks at Blackmagic Design with regards to that Thunderbolt adapter, and they told me that the Thunderbolt 3 to 2 adapter, they couldn't tell me if that would work or not, but they recommended the one by StarTech. So I ordered that one and sent the other one back to Amazon, and it still doesn't work. And then they said, okay, well, you can send it back to us, the Blackmagic unit, and we'll repair it or send you a new one. just fill in all this information. So I filled in all the information, and the guy says, well, you didn't fill it in the right spots on the form, so you have to do it all over again. I was like, what are you talking about? Are you guys new to computers? I mean, I hear all this great stuff about Blackmagic Design being higher end equipment, and yet something as simple as a form you guys haven't figured out. You know, at this point, I can tell you, getting that Blackmagic device to work has been an utter exercise in frustration and futility. It seems like it's really designed more for the Apple world. It doesn't really seem to play nice with Windows, and you've got to get everything just right. And even then, from what I'm reading online, you have to adjust all these little minute settings in order to make it work, and all the settings, like in the capture card, for example, have to be exactly matching OBS or it doesn't work right, so you've got to adjust it on both sides. I don't have any of this problem with Magewell. Just saying, the Magewell just works. And I don't know who these people are that are so brainwashed by Blackmagic Design, but their technical support is severely lacking. The technical ability of how they collect and process an RMA feels like I went back 25 years in time. And I think the same people who worship Apple and blindly pay all that money just to have something that says Apple are the same people that buy Blackmagic, and I think that's why they work well together. That's my theory. If you can tell, I'm pretty upset by it. I've got over $400 invested in it, and it still doesn't work. And for support to tell me I didn't write the thing in the right, you know, support can copy and paste and do it for me. They're the ones getting paid by Blackmagic. I'm not the one getting paid. So to tell me I've got to do the job twice, I think the person on the other end of the line forgot who's the customer and who's the employee. Be that as it may, I haven't decided yet if I'm just going to send everything back to Amazon and get a refund and say never Blackmagic again and stick with Magewell instead, or if I'll calm down, think about it, and give them the benefit of the doubt and endure, you know, what other nonsense they're going to throw at me next. Because now I expect it. Now I'm like, all right, this isn't going to stop here. What are they going to do next? So be warned if you're interested in Blackmagic stuff. People will rant and rave about how great it is, and then you get it and it doesn't work, and the support is just awful. It's not the representative necessarily, but the technology that they use is not what I expect from a company that's so expensive to buy and so well spoken of and respected on the internet that they would have me write things out in an email and then tell me I didn't put it in the right spot. It's insanity. Absolute unforgivable in 2019. And furthermore, if they're the employee and I provided them the information and it's not in the spot they need, they're the ones getting paid. They need to move that information where they need it. It's not my problem. I don't work for you. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest. I feel better now. Let's give a few shouts out here in the chat. We've got a couple contributions have come in. So let's see. Vernon Mahoney joins us. David McGurran, Mark Baggett, Swiss Skynet, Michael Mancini. Hey, Michael, you using that new PC? I know he just got it. Joe Vent, Renee Cousin, Art Awesome, Paul from Mars, Jamie Munoz, Magnum, Kevin Sears, West Walkthroughs, Andre Hernandez, Eric Desrosiers, or Rosiers, Pete Unwin, Tony Wallow, of course, Bloody Rage, Jacob Alvarez, Dave Stetzel, Philip Musto, Arto Resenin, John Craig, Stealth Mode, Patrick Rusaw, Ben Laird, Rick Hubbard, STS Tech, Michael Shaw, hi Michael, good to see you, John Peck, Levcar24, Nikolai Lukianov has contributed 50 pesos, thank you Nikolai. Stephen Bernstein, always good to see Stephen, welcome in. John Bannum, Jamie M. Polestar69, Ben DeCure has contributed $4.99. He says, hello, Carrie and chat, hope everyone is doing well. Rick Hubbard has contributed £2. Thank you, Rick. Gil Zephyr says shalom. I'm going to get these words out. Gil Zephyr says shalom from Israel. Shalom, Gil. Paul Baxter, Dusan Packler, Eddie Milne, Randy Parker, Gary Whitaker. Thomas M. has contributed $10. He says, I'm a new subscriber. I started working on my laptop because of you. Thanks for sharing. Hey, Thomas, let's make you a moderator. You don't have to do anything as a moderator. It just highlights your name in blue so I can tell that you're a friend. So thank you for being a friend of the channel and being a wonderful member of this outstanding community that we're building here. John Rogers says hello. Jimmy Bateman, Barry Almond. Paul Hoynick has contributed $4.99, says love the videos. Thank you, Paul. Paul's already a moderator. We've got 484 people watching now, so I think we'll just go ahead and get started with today's build. It's kind of, I'm using the term build loosely. This computer is absolutely amazing. Well, it's amazing looking. We'll see if it actually performs as good as it looks. It's already pre-built. You just pick the RAM and the solid state drive. So RAM and storage is all you add, and you button it up and you install your operating system and you're done. Computer's built. And this is no slouch. This is going to have 32 gigs of RAM with a 1 terabyte Samsung, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It's a 1 terabyte Intel SSD 6. This is a QLC type NVMe drive, so it's not as fast as a Samsung, but it's also a lot cheaper. This is like $120 for 1 terabyte, and it's much, much faster, about 3 times faster than SATA, but about half the speed of, let's say, the Samsung 970 Pro, but it's also half the price. So with that in mind, I think the Samsung 970 Pro for 512 gigs is $170. This is twice 512, right? So it's twice the storage at half the speed for $120. So less than half what the Samsung Evo 970 Pro would have cost. What is it? It's a Samsung, either the Samsung 970 Pro or the Samsung 970 Evo 1 terabyte is around $300. This is $120. Again, it'll run at about half the speed, but it's still 3 times faster than SATA. And in my experience, most end users don't really notice that difference, but when you're running benchmarks, you'll really see it. Art Awesome has contributed $5. Hey, thank you, Art Awesome. That's awesome. And Genaro Jose Maria Larosa has contributed $2. Or is it Genaro? I don't know how to pronounce that name, but thank you for your contribution. Thank you for supporting the channel. And then we're going to use this memory here. This is the Ballistic Sport. 32 gigs is all this can hold, so we're going to max it out. I did the same thing when I built this. I maxed out the memory. That way, it's been running solid for 6 years. There's nothing wrong with it. It's always been a Core i3, so if there was ever anything wrong with it, it's just that it's always been a Core i3. Don't buy the i3. I don't care who you are. Just get yourself a low-end i5 or a Ryzen. Anything's better than the i3. It's fine for what it does. My wife doesn't complain about it, but I do. As you can see, everything's brand new in a box. Nothing's been rehearsed, nothing's been scripted. Everything is live, everything is real, genuine, and authentic. Mistakes may be made, and that's the way life is. And if you're going to build a computer, a kitchen is a great place to work. It's well lit. It's a naturally anti-static area because most kitchens are not carpeted. John Sudbury has contributed £1.99, and Dimitri is contributing 15 euros, and he says, greetings from the Netherlands. We just had the daylight savings time change, and it's still throwing me off. So we got a little bit of a later start today, but this is a quick build. It should slap together relatively quickly, and it's so easy, anybody can do it. This is a bargain of a price. You can get these for $524. And wait till you see what it looks like. Wait till you get a load of this. They've changed the design quite significantly for this model. Here it is. That big box, just for this little thing right here. Let's get the plastic off of there. Boom. You see that skull? That skull lights up. And you can change the colors on it and change the colors of the eyes. You got all your ports back here. You got your gigabit, your power. Power is obviously external. 2 USB 3s and a 3.1 along with HDMI out. And, oh, is that Thunderbolt 2 that I see? It might be. I'd have to look at the specs. I think that's a Kensington lock so people don't walk away with it. And then the front of it has an SD memory card reader over here. 2 more USBs. I think the yellow one is like a high-speed charging port, headphone jack. And what's that? Power button? What is that? I don't know, maybe something for a remote. Oh, power button's right here. All right, so if we compare that to the one I built 6 years ago, it's a completely different design. Now, some of you are wondering about that thumbnail created for this video. If you're young, you may not recognize Curly from the Three Stooges. The Three Stooges were a comedy team back in the 1930s, and they're still funny. It's slapstick comedy, and Curly was the bald-headed guy, and when he laughed, he'd go nuck, nuck, nuck. Hence, these are called NUCs, and you see next unit of computing. Get it? The old guys get it. See that guy right there? He gets it. All right, so we're going to have to open this up. There's just 4 screws on the bottom to open it up. This thing is bad. I better not say that. I meant bad in a good way. Let's see what's inside. Oh, I didn't finish opening what's in the box. I didn't finish taking everything out. We have, because it's a tiny computer, you get a tiny Go Faster sticker. So it only goes a little faster. Some documentation, safety information. Yeah, that can go over there. Some kind of warranty. We don't have to worry about that. It's a NUC. It's going to last forever. And this is the actual documentation here. One sheet of paper. There's all your documentation. We might need that, I don't know. Now you say, Kerry, you're not into the whole lights and everything, and how's that really going to be a skull in a professional environment? Well, Intel's thought of that, and they're giving you, I think what this is an alternative cover that's a more professional, solid black cover with no LEDs if you're in a professional environment and you don't want that skull. I mean, let's say, for example, you're a surgeon. This may not be what your customers want to see on your desk, for example. It may not instill confidence. There's a VESA mounting backplate, so you can mount this to the back of a monitor, out of sight, out of mind. No one will ever know that there's a computer back there, just hanging on the back. The power brick is almost as big as the NUC itself. This is just for power. And of course, Intel includes the Mickey Mouse style power cable. You see how the end there looks like Mickey Mouse? See this, the 2 ears? Anyway, sometimes that's called a Mickey Mouse power cable, and that's why that's called that. And then we've got a couple of screws here. I'm imagining maybe for mounting the solid state drive, and I don't know what else because I haven't gotten into it. Everything's unscripted. I don't know anything about this. I've not in any way, shape, or form prepared. Just like you guys, when you guys go and buy this stuff, most people, it could be an impulse purchase. You see it, you like it, you buy it, and then you go, huh, what did I just get myself into? So we're going to just do it just the way normal, everyday people do it here. That's what we do on my channel. We keep it real so that you have the right expectations if you choose to go down this path. You will be better prepared than me because you will have watched this video. I haven't watched this video yet. All right. This Intel NUC came with a box that when I opened it, it played Intel's theme tune, which was so annoying. Like a birthday card that plays a tune. Like Intel spent money to integrate a battery and a little speaker, like those birthday cards that play tunes. It was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. And hopefully when we edit this, we can put that clip of that video over here. They're not doing that anymore. Thank goodness. And I got a power cable. They weren't including power cables with this model. You had to buy the power cable separately. And it wasn't like all over the box, you must buy a power cable. It's only until after you built it and you were excited to turn it on for the first time that you realize you've got nothing to plug it in with. So Intel has addressed that. This is a fast machine. This is an Intel Core i7 chip. It is not a desktop i7. It is an i7 designed for laptops. So it runs with less power and doesn't get as hot. It is not a gaming machine. This would be a great, if you're looking for an HTPC, a home theater personal computer, or HTPC. It is not an HEDT, which is a high-end desktop. That's not what this is. Or this is for somebody in a business and you don't have a lot of desk space and you want a powerful computer to open Word and Excel and browse the web and play solitaire and have 1,800 windows open. Well, maybe not 1,800, but you could have several dozen windows open, Quicken, QuickBooks, whatever you want. This is going to handle it easy, out of sight, out of mind. And we'll see over time if it's reliable. This one is for me, and that way I can continue to review it over years. Because any review that takes place over the uses of 2 weeks doesn't really benefit you, the viewer, to know that I liked it or disliked it in 2 weeks. It's only after you live with it and you rely on it, only then can you recommend it. And if I have a problem with it, what's the return process like? Are they difficult, like, oh, Blackmagic Design? Or are they helpful, and do they expedite it, and do they try and get you to the resolution as quickly as possible? There's a stereo equalizer I bought, and the spectrum analyzer on the front burned out in the first 2 months. And they said, no problem, it's got a 1-year warranty, just pay to ship it back and include a check for $15 for us to ship it back to you. It's a $60 equalizer. Why would I spend the time and the effort to box it and pay to ship it plus $15 when I can go on Amazon, order one for $60 and have it here tomorrow, and don't have to worry if it was fixed right? So companies like that, that was made by a company, that EQ is made by a company called Pyle, P-Y-L-E. Yeah, I think I know why it's called Pyle. So I'm telling it like it is. If there's products that I like, I'll tell you why I like it. If there's products I don't like, I'll tell you why I don't like it. There's no sponsors on this channel. I have no agenda other than would I recommend this to a paying customer, that Pyle EQ and this Blackmagic Design stuff? No, absolutely not. I would not recommend them. Could my mind be changed? Sure, of course. But if I have to make a video to publicly shame a company to get them to do the right thing, that doesn't start us off well. So I'd rather just go to another company. Anyway, I'm going to just plug that in and set it aside, and we're going to get these screws out. I'm not going to use this screwdriver on this little tiny computer. That's getting put away. I'm going to use an old-fashioned, good old Phillips number 2 out of a computer repair toolkit. And I think I need to install, what do I do? Remove the top or the bottom? I don't even know. Let's remove the bottom first. There's 4 screws on the bottom. There's 6 screws on the top. I could read the documentation, but who are we kidding? You guys aren't reading the documentation. Most of you just gonna get right in there, so let's get in there. I've been professionally building, repairing computers since 1991, so how many years is that? A long time, 3 decades I've been doing this. And they're all mostly the same. Sometimes they're a little confusing, but when you look at it, it kind of makes sense most of the time. Sometimes companies do things for no good reason other than to avoid, they want to be different, you know, for example, or they want to avoid some sort of a trademark, or not a trademark, but a patent issue with you'll see that a lot in coolers, a lot of the same mounting mechanisms, because Asetek, is it Asetek? Owns the patents for the common mounting mechanisms, and the companies that use mounting mechanisms that are similar get sued for royalties and fines. So companies then have to come up with their own way of doing things. I like that this says front, so when you put this plate back on, you'll know which way to rotate it. But it's a pretty simple device. I don't know why it's not coming apart yet, but I'm going to go ahead and, these screws seem to be captured, so I think I'm going to just take the top off. Ooh, that screwdriver does not fit in the top. I think that requires this Allen wrench. There's a little tiny Allen wrench in this bag, And I believe that's for opening the top. So let me just look at the directions real quick, and let's take a look to see how this opens, because we probably only need one side or the other, depending on where the sockets are for the RAM and storage. So this does show the bottom, so I'm on the right path. Take out the screws from the bottom, and then it lifts straight up, and that's access to our RAM. And then there's two M.2 slots, so you can have two M.2 drives, and it looks like it'll support multiple size M.2s. Everybody does the 2280. It's 22 millimeters wide and 80 millimeters long, which you'll see here coming up. And I think it'll do either SATA or PCI Express, but we're going to use PCI Express because with the QLC type SSD, it's the same price as SATA with 3 times the speed. So why would anybody want to go back to SATA? We've already evolved past that. So taking a look, it just says that this comes off some way, but it's certainly not coming off easy. And I'm probably being a little overly cautious with it. This little box was $524 currently as of March, what I say today was the 12th, 2019. And you just add your operating system. It's Windows 10 compatible. You could also put Linux on it. And you add RAM and storage. So RAM, storage, and OS are all additional. So when this is all said and done, it's around $700, $800, but it's going to be freaking fast, quiet. Obviously, you're not adding a GPU to this. It's not a gaming machine unless the idea of gaming you have is playing cards. It would be a great media center PC. I think I missed a couple contributions. Let's take a quick look in the chat. Security Van Man has contributed $1.99. He says, hello from Fresno, California. Love your channel. Thank you, Security Van Man. Dimitri has contributed €15. I think I mentioned that. And says, greetings from the Netherlands. Thank you, Dimitri. Thanks, you guys. You guys are what make this channel possible. If you knew what YouTube paid, you'd wonder how foolish I am to be doing this. And I can't wait to get this camera. You have no idea how bad. I can't wait to get that camera up and running and take a look at what 4K is going to look like. I've been rendering out some videos at 4K, but they're up converted from 1080. So I'm wondering if these screws are supposed to come all the way out, and if that's why I'm struggling here. Well, it looks like it just captures the screws. From what I can tell, I've done everything correctly. And this bottom plate should just... So the way the bottom plate is in here, you'll see there's, if you look real close, you'll see there's these little metal tabs, and we got to pay attention to that when we put that back in. And sometimes these come straight out, and other times you have to take one sort of side up. See how I'm pulling on that? Oh, there it goes. That you'll see it's going to suck air in from here. So from occasion, you might want to get a little can of compressed air and blow that out when the machine is off from time to time to just clear the dust out. Total of 32. And then we'll put one here on the storage drive in one of the M.2s. I'll have room to upgrade if I want to. Does this have built-in Wi-Fi? I thought it did, but I don't see it on here. I would assume it has built-in Wi-Fi. Let's see, it's super speed USB, 19 volt input, just like a laptop. And that's the VESA mount, how it mounts on the back of a monitor if you wanted to, if you were in a professional organization and you wanted to hide that. Just looking to see the specs. The specifications don't seem to be on this sheet. They're probably on the product page. I don't see any antennas on it, but a lot of times the built-in Wi-Fi, like this has Wi-Fi, you'd never know by looking at it, I think. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I know for a fact it does because I remember putting it in. It's a little card that goes in. Let's see if this says anything about Wi-Fi. Intel Iris Pro Graphics, Thunderbolt 3 ports, supports DisplayPort 1.2 and USB 3.1. HDMI 2.0 with 4 USB 3.0 ports. One is the charging port, that's the yellow one. TOS Link stereo headphone combo jack with an Intel dual band 802.11 AC and Bluetooth 4.2. It's got mini DisplayPort 1.2, SD card slot, and a thermally optimized chassis. I wish I had a thermally optimized chassis. All right, let me see if I can move the camera here and show you a better angle. Randy Ruff has contributed $2. Thank you, Randy. You know what? Let's break out the new camera. Let's try the new camera. Jesus, this thing's heavy. I'm going to need a video cable to hook that up. Here we go. We'll grab one of these bad boys right here. This is my first time using this, guys, so bear with me. I hope I get it right the first time. I'm going to open up HDMI door here. This will only be shooting in 1080 because the capture card will only capture 1080. And then we will open up the door and turn the camera on, and you'll see the lens will adjust. And then we'll bring it back around. It's a little tight. Let's loosen that up. Bring that back around. Let's go this way, like this, and we'll open the door so we can see what's going on. We'll zoom that in. I don't know, maybe like that would be good. Lock it down. Let's get it focused. Oh, that's on zoom. That's pretty cool. Let me get it focused. Focus. I'm not sure. The screen's still too small for me to see, so let me plug in to the capture card. Let's go to port number 3 on the back of the capture card. Okay, and here we go, guys. First time I'm using this camera, running on batteries. I don't know how long that battery's gonna last. Let's try, there it is. Ooh, pretty. I should bring this up higher. Let's bring it up higher. Let's go. Sorry, I need to extend. Here, I don't want to make you nauseous, so let's go back and let me just extend the legs on the tripod as high as I can get it. There we go. Get it right up against the counter. Point it straight down. Well, not straight down, but angle it down. Winston Angloos contributed $2. Thank you, Winston. There we go. That looks pretty good, right? You guys can see that good. Make sure we're sharp. I think that looks pretty good. All right, look at me, like I knew what I was doing. That camera just arrived in the mail just like 90 minutes ago, 2 hours ago. And already it's put to work. So for the RAM, we can get that done first. It's super easy. This is the 32 gig kit of Ballistic Sport gaming memory. I did not have to buy this memory. I could have bought slower, cheaper memory. Sometimes, for a few extra dollars and a peace of mind going with a company I'm familiar with that I know has good support is worth it, just for the peace of mind. When you take the memory out of the package, in this case, this is going to open like a clamshell here. Just grab a corner, open that up. And don't bend the memory, bend the package. So when we want to get this memory out, just bend the package and you'll see the memory comes right out. And this memory has little metal heat spreaders on it, which is good because this is going to be a hot chassis. You can just tell from the design. The way that this memory is going to go in, you'll see that there's a notch cut out and there's a notch in the socket. So rotate it accordingly and put it in on an angle. You see those little gold fingers right there? I'm going to put that on an angle and we're going to push that in until the gold fingers disappear. And then just push it down and it'll lock into place. There's 16 gigs of memory installed. Now we're just going to repeat that with the other module. And this stuff we can just set right over there. And we're going to put this in just like that. Gently press it in till the gold fingers are gone. That's it. Now we're going to put in the SSD, and it's not much more difficult than that. I would be curious if they prefer one SSD over the other, so let's take a quick look at the documentation, and I'll give you guys a little behind the scenes. You can join me here. Am I too skinny? Can you see me? Yeah, you're going to lose some weight, Carrie. All right. Let's take a look one more time at what it says about these M.2 slots. I don't think it matters which one you use. Step number 3. Step number 3 shows a picture of different configurations, but it doesn't really tell me if I should use one over the other. There's A and B, and I don't know if one is faster than the other, or if they're both equal, or I guess you pick which one, you pick the diagram on what you're going to do. So we're only going to use one M280, so we're going to use one of these long sticks. So you look at the photograph to see one that has one long stick on it, and it says you can put it in A or B. It shows if that's your configuration, this one here or this one here, either way is acceptable. It doesn't really give me any performance numbers with regards to the speed of those slots. I assume they're both PCIe 3.0 by 4, which is what NVMe basically means for those of you who speak that language. So when I look at the NUC, it looks like I can't get it wrong. So where is it going to look the best, even though nobody's ever going to look inside? So when I come back to this, and let's get you back over to this, my new camera, I'm so happy. Let's bring that in. By the way, this camera has been made possible by a viewer named Peter Laycock. And Peter has basically enabled me to shoot at 4K by basically providing me this camera. I mean, he perhaps didn't realize that's what he was doing, but that's how I invested his contributions over the last year. And it's, again, because of viewers like him and viewers like you that I can keep improving the equipment, and I will get a 4K capture card soon, very soon, and we'll be hopefully broadcasting this stuff in 4K. Now, I do see the two slots, one here, one here. I don't know which one is A and which one is B, but my instinct is to put it closest to the edge for heat-related concerns so that it's closer to airflow and it's less likely to have any heat problem. I hope I don't regret this. I'm going to just remove this M.2 screw right here. It's always good to use a magnetized screwdriver. This is the package that the Intel SSD 6 comes in. You'll see it's never ever been opened. Everything you see here is brand new and untested. People ask me, when's the last time you've gotten a dead on arrival part or a DOA part? Well, you're watching the videos. When's the last time you've seen me show a DOA part? Everything's so automated these days in factories that the output is so fast and so consistent with machines doing the work. Humans or no longer need apply. Quality control over the years, as more things have gone to automation, has gone incredibly, it's gone way up in quality control. Humans need not apply. There's our documentation. We're going to open this up. And there's our 1 terabyte of solid state storage. Same deal, open the package. Open the package. And you'll see there's 2 indentations in this package. That's to get your fingers in there. Why no anti-static strap, Carrie? Because I'm not touching anything electronic. I'm only holding the edges. There's no place for static to go. And I'm working in a kitchen with a tiled floor. So we're going to arrange that. The notch is cut on one side, so you cannot put it in upside down. It always goes with the label facing up on every computer. We're going to slide that into the socket. See if I can turn this for a better view for you. Until those gold fingers, just like the memory, kind of goes in on an angle, and push it forward. Don't put it on an angle. Don't bend. When I say on an angle, I'm talking about the up and down angle. I'm not talking about a left and right. You want to be straight on, but you want the back up higher. Push it straight in. Those little gold fingers disappear. Then we push this back down. See, it's like a little diving board. And I'm going to take the screw that I just removed, put it back on the end of this driver. This is where it helps to have a magnetized screwdriver. And I'm going to hold that down. Remember, I'm touching the sticker. I'm not touching the chips, so we don't have to worry about any electrostatic discharge. You just don't torque this down real tight. It's just there to hold and secure the M2 drive in position. So once that screw comes to a stop, you needn't tighten it any further. You've completed your build. Congratulations, you're now a computer builder. We can put the back on. The arrow indicates this is the front, and you're looking at the back, so it has to go towards me. Set that right down. Kind of clicks into place. Tighten those 4 screws back down. 1. Once again, you don't need to torque these things down. Once they come to a stop, you don't need to take it any further than that. And that's our build. Now, someone in the chat asked a very good question. They wanted to know if there was any plastic. Sometimes manufacturers cover their parts with plastic. We can check it. I don't believe I saw any, but it wouldn't hurt to check. And just to demonstrate how easy it is to get back into this, you don't have to go, oh no, I have to open it back up. It's just 4 screws, just like this. Because it wouldn't hurt to check. It won't hurt necessarily to leave the plastic on the RAM, but the idea for those heat spreaders is to help dissipate heat. And if there is plastic from the manufacturer, that's going to interfere with the efficacy of those heat spreaders. So we'll pull this right back off. See how it came off easier when I knew what I was doing. And what we're talking about is there any plastic on this RAM module? And if I grab a corner of it and try and peel, ooh, you know what? There may be. Is that plastic? Let's see. Or am I peeling the label off? Oh, wow. Well, there is a plastic on it, but it doesn't seem that it would be harmful to leave that on because it was so hard to get off. It does not appear that the manufacturer intends for you to peel it off. That would be my guess. Let me check the other side because it's on one side, it's usually on the other. And I imagine see. So there's a piece of plastic on here, but I'm trying to figure out which part is the label and which part is the plastic. See, that whole thing is the label. So that's not even a metal heat spreader, it's a sticker. That's all that is a sticker. It's not metal at all. It's colored to look like metal, but you can peel that whole sticker off. So for that reason, you know what? Since I did it for one, I'm going to do it for the other one. But I'm not going to take it off the other side. It is basically peeling the entire label up. And usually the manufacturers will instruct you to remove it, and I don't see that on here. And you can pull the whole sticker off if you don't want the stickers on it, but the problem is it's got the product serial number on it and everything that you would need for warranty purposes. So if you do peel the sticker off, you'll need to save it, just in case you ever have a warranty issue. But you can see the way that right up in that corner what I'm working on, that there is a piece of plastic, a thin piece of plastic film, but it is not necessary to pull it off. See how that, it does not come off easy, so it doesn't appear that they want you to take that off. But I have, you know, my OCD and I like everything to be the same. Since I took it off one, I'm going to take it off the other one. There we go. But I would say if you're buying the same RAM, I'd leave it on. But once you start to peel it, I have to take the whole thing off. I can't just leave it half on. So I'm going to put that right back in. There we go. And let's go back to putting this back on. This is to the front, so it goes on this way. Make sure that all the corners are seated all the way down before you attempt to secure it. And put those screws back down. Okay, so there is the unit completely built. And now we're ready for our first power on self-test, and we can install Windows. Let's get that done. Let's get rid of this camera. I'm glad that my new camera works. If you guys ever see Peter Laycock in the chat room, you've got to give him a huge virtual hug, because that's a generous man. All right, let's get this camera out of the way. I'm done with you for now. And we'll get this closed up and turn it off. And let's move it out of the way. All right, I'm done with that and that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Oh, wait, yeah, I need that. Let's keep that there. Power brick. Let's give it some power. Let's plug it into the kilowatt. Let's see how much power this thing draws. I'm sure it's not going to be as much as you think it's going to be. And those extra parts and the Go Faster sticker. Let's put the Go Faster sticker inside of here with the extra parts, just like that. I'm done with the box cutter, so we'll put that back. And I'm done with these screwdrivers. All the tools can be put back. I don't need this documentation anymore. This will just go in a box. I need a keyboard and a mouse, so I've got one of those right over here, so we'll put that. Geez, if I put the keyboard in front, you won't even see the NUC. So I'll put it off to the side so you guys can see. Inside, I've got the mouse dongle right in here, the wireless dongle. We can plug that into any USB port here, so we'll just plug it into the back right there. Power is going to go right there, so we'll give it some power. I need an HDMI cable, which I have down here, to go into the capture card. I don't have a monitor. Do you mind if I use your monitor? We've got 946 people. Can I use your monitor? Would you mind? I'm the only guy who's got 946 monitors and I can't see a single one of them. But thank you. Let me borrow your monitor for just a moment while we test this. And then there's probably BIOS update and stuff like that, but I just want to get right to my Windows 10 install. So I've got a flash drive right here that has the latest Windows 10. I've got a video that shows you how you could make this. It's free, it's legal. You just need a product key to activate it, but Windows 10 will run without activation. It just has some features that are disabled. And we'll pick any USB port to plug that into. And I'm going to hit the power button, and we're going to switch over to the video input, which says no signal, but it should get a signal here in a minute if I did this right. If I did this right. Don't let me down, NUC. Come on. And just in case you're wondering, I'm right here. Your first boot up could take up to 90 seconds, so be patient. It's also possible that something isn't seated right. Let's just give it a minute. The first time, you know, it's feeling itself out. It's going, okay, this is how much RAM I've got. This is what the storage is. If we don't see anything in 90 seconds, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to remove one of the RAM modules. We could have a bad RAM module, or I could be on the wrong video input, or I may not have the cable plugged all the way in. Sometimes that catches me, and you guys can make that same mistake. It's not a big deal, but it is something that I am not immune to. I should have received some sort of a video signal by now. Because I haven't, I'm going to shut the unit off by holding the power button in. I'm going to remove the flash drive. I'm going to try booting it without the flash drive. I've seen times where the flash drives have different compatibilities. I do hear the fan running, and the light lights up on the front. So it's doing something. So let's give that a second. And again, could be RAM may not be seated right. So it's no reason to panic yet. Not yet. This is part of the building experience and sort of the anxiety that comes with it. But just be calm and carry on. That's why my name's Carrie, right? And again, just to be thorough, I'm going to take the, I'm going to hold the power button in until the power switches off. And I'm going to remove the other USB device, which is the wireless dongle. And one more time, I'm going to try turning it on one last time. And while I'm waiting, because I got a feeling it's not powering up, I'm going to go ahead and pull that screwdriver back out. We're going to open this up. Normally, if you do it right, you should be able to get it done right the first time. And I want to make sure I'm in the right video selection as well. So let me just verify my software is enabled properly. So give me just 1 second here. It's been booting just fine. I was on the wrong input device. So we're good. It was my fault. When I was using your monitor, I plugged into that guy's monitor instead of plugging into yours. My apologies. So let's do this all over again. This didn't happen. All right. For the sake of editing. All right, guys, I need to use your monitor. Would you mind? We've got 994 people watching. So I'm the only guy who's going to have 994 monitors, and I can't see a single one of them. But I want to use your monitor, and we're going to turn this bad boy on right now. Here's my wireless mouse dongle. I'm going to plug it into any USB port. I'm just going to use one in the back. Here's my Windows 10 installation USB. I'll put a link in the video notes on how you can make one of these. It's completely free. It's completely legal. You can run Windows 10 basically in a trial mode indefinitely, but it'll have a watermark on it that says you need to activate, and it won't let you make some modifications to Windows 10 until you pay for it. But in the meantime, you can still download and install it for free. We're going to do that right now. So I'm going to plug this in right up here to the front. Right here's my power button, so I'm going to press that, and we're going to go to the video input. All right, guys, I'm using your monitor right now. Here we go. Because it has nothing to boot to, other than the USB flash drive, I don't have to choose a boot option. The SSD I put in is blank. It has no partition, no format. So the only thing this can possibly boot to is the flash drive. Now we're going to do our standard Windows 10 install that you've seen me do a dozen times before. You just click Next and Install Now. And watch how fast Windows 10 installs. Right here, when it asks for the product key, just look down here. It says, I don't have a product key. That's so you can install Windows 10 in trial. I will be putting Windows 10 Pro on here and hit Next. And then the next screen that comes up is the end user license agreement, which everybody reads and understands. Hit the custom button. Always choose custom. There's only one place to install, and that's that Intel 660p 1 terabyte NVMe SSD PCIe times 4 Gen 3. What? Yeah. And hit Next, and now Windows 10 is going to automatically partition and format and install Windows onto that solid state drive. All we have to do is wait just a couple minutes. Wait and see how fast this is going to go. This is absolutely mind-blowing, I think. You know, I've been so impressed with the old NUC from 6 years ago. I'm anticipating just what a rocket ship this is going to be. And I believe there's some Intel software to control the skull. You can light it up or turn it off and change the colors. I believe there's software you download for that. Okay, so while we're waiting, if anybody has any questions in the chat room, I'd be happy to address those right now. And shouts out to any contributions I just missed. So Andrew Lipinski contributed $2 and said, Carrie, you're an inspiration as always. Thank you, Andrew. John Yasudas contributed $4 and says, money for more Coke consumption. Thank you, John. Tom Miller has contributed $5. Winston Anglu has contributed $2. Winston watches us from Vancouver, Canada. Road Dog Gaming has contributed $3.99. And Randy Ruff has contributed $2. Thank you guys so much for your contributions. Carrie, download the AMD drivers. I'm pretty sure an Intel system does not take AMD drivers, but thanks for the advice, which I will not take. Let's see what else we've got. Austin Valdez says hello from Colorado. Carrie, is there a way to fix a non-responding flash drive? No, things break. It's broken. It's done. That's why you always make copies of things that are important. Flash drives are cheap. When they break, just like a Bic lighter. Remember Bic lighters? When they ran out of butane, you threw them away. Flash drives don't last forever. Always put copies of things that are important on numerous devices. Never leave anything as an original copy on any single device. Even email it to yourself if nothing else. But no, if the flash drive is not responding, it's time to either throw it away or send it to data recovery services. And you'll be looking at about a minimum of $300 for any data recovery, if it's possible. That's the cheapest I know. And of course, if you want to play around with some data recovery software, just understand that if you are not successful, you might have made it worse. So if it was recoverable before you started, probably won't be recoverable if you try and make an attempt and fail. You will probably remove any possibility of that data recovery. So choose your path, but set your expectations accordingly. William Lynn says it's the LED Manager software for the Intel NUC. There you go. Yeah, I figured there had to be something like that. Would it be a good Plex server? I imagine it would be the most amazing Plex server you've ever seen. Are we ready for our first reboot? That's how fast Windows 10 man, it's already rocking. Here we go. Rebooting. We shouldn't have to download any drivers or anything. When we finish Windows 10, I'll get it hooked up on the wireless network and we'll hit Windows Update. And Windows Update should grab everything we need minus that LED software. Like if there's that third-party software, we'll have to put that on manually. But look how fast that build is. Anybody can do that. Anybody. Is a solid-state drive more reliable over a hard drive? About 10 times more reliable. But regardless, you should always have backups of important data because solid-state drives do fail. Solid-state drives do get files accidentally deleted, corrupted, ransomware. They get involved in thefts, fires, floods. Everything that anybody who's ever lost data has in common is that none of those people expected it. Make copies of your important data and your hard drive or solid-state reliability is irrelevant. They will fail. At some point, some people it fails sooner, other people fails later. There's no way to know. Should I buy car insurance for my car? Am I going to get into an accident when I go out on the road? Maybe, maybe not. You get insurance. So if an accident happens, you're covered. If you have important data, back it up. And if your hard drive fails or your computer's stolen or there's a fire, there's a flood, there's a theft, there's an accidental deletion, there's corruption, there's ransomware, there's viruses, there's Trojans, there's all kinds of reasons why people lose their data, and none of it's a big deal if you have a backup. You just simply reinstall your stuff or recover your data. It's really simple. It's aggravating, but not as aggravating as sending your hard drive in for data recovery and spending upwards of $1,200 and waiting 2 weeks and maybe getting 80% of it back, you know? Only you can prevent data loss, and nobody cares about your data more than you do. So if you can't be bothered to back it up and you want to trust your data to one storage device over another because some guy on YouTube said it's more reliable, everything fails, including you. You and I will both fail one day. Nothing lasts forever. If it's important to you, make copies of it. If you can't be bothered, it's not my problem. Tell us how you really feel, Carrie. It's just ridiculous. Data recovery companies should not exist. And people pay. Pay a little now or pay a whole lot later. It's up to you. The reason I like solid-state drives is they're super, super fast. I've never seen one fail that I've installed. And I only use name brand SSDs. I don't buy cheap ones. And I always back up everything important onto a second location, preferably out of the building. If the building burns down, nobody saw that coming. Those people in Paradise, California with that huge fire, nobody thought that was going to happen. And when it happened so fast, they didn't have time to pack up the computer and take it, or to wait, hold on, I need a half an hour to back up my stuff. You always have to be proactive. If you want to be reactive, that's not the way I choose to live my life, but you can. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, we're already done with the Windows 10 install with the exception of picking our language, which here was, or a region rather, is United States. And our keyboard layout. We don't want a secondary keyboard layout. We can hook up to the Wi-Fi. I'll put it on the guest network. That was Amazon. I ordered a bunch of stuff, so I had some stuff coming today. So that was just Amazon bringing me some stuff. I think that may be my 4K capture card. So I can't wait to get that installed. Setting this up for personal use. I don't want to use a Microsoft account. I want an offline account. It says, yeah, don't you want to sign in with Microsoft instead? How many times do I have to tell you no? And we're just going to use a username of oh, I don't know, what should we call this? Skolnick. Welcome to Skolnick. Can't see my screen, it's too small. No password. No Cortana. No history. No spying, no spying, no spying, no spying, no spying, no spying, no spying. Accept. Hi. Think you guys can handle that? That's how difficult it is to build a computer in 2019. And not just any computer, a fast computer. And we'll be done here in just a minute. We got 1,054 people watching. Welcome in, everybody. We have a very friendly community here. If you're here to contradict me or tell me I'm wrong, you're welcome to leave or be kicked out. This is a supportive community where each other encourages and supports the other, or we keep our mouth shut, which is really the easiest thing to do. And there's always room for more welcoming, friendly, happy, supportive people as we build our community as a safe place on the internet. And anybody who doesn't like that, we can leave voluntarily or be kicked out. It's just one click of the mouse. Well, 2 clicks of the mouse. So I see a couple of that. As we grow bigger, we sometimes attract the wrong crowd, and they don't last long here. If they want to create a new account and come back in and behave, they can certainly do that, but I don't have time to babysit. All right, so let's go to Windows Update right now, and let's grab all the Windows updates. Well, looks like a video driver just went in. When you see the screen blank out like that, it's already grabbing updates in the background. So when we grab updates, there's probably going to be a few that are going to fail because it's already updating in the background by itself. So don't worry about that if you see that occur. Like if you see any Windows updates failing on your first, like right away, you see all these updates right here, no worries. Some of these are going to fail because they're already installing as I'm downloading and trying to install them. You'll see. In the meantime, I can eject my Windows 10 flash drive. Always make sure that you use the eject option, unless you don't care about the lifespan of your flash drive or the data being corrupted on it. You should not just pull it out without stopping the service or shutting the computer off first. Just because you've been getting away with it doesn't mean you'll continue to get away with it forever. That's how you get a bad flash drive real quick. If the NUC has Thunderbolt 3, could you install an external graphics card via an adapter? Sure, I don't see why not. I think the whole cost of this NUC is still less than the price of a 1080 Ti. Think about that. RAM, storage, and NUC all added up, I think, is still less money than the cost of a 1080 Ti. Do you recommend Windows Defender for antivirus protection? Well, viruses aren't really a problem these days. Mostly it's malware. Whatever you get for free, you can't hold anybody to blame when you get infected. If you're relying on your security from a free piece of software, then I think you're a fool. People have money, they just don't want to spend it. I don't care what anybody's excuse is. If you're not paying for your antivirus and you're putting your identity theft potential into the hands of a free antivirus company, you get what you deserve. I'm sorry. Windows Defender by itself is not enough. You will need a paid solution such as Malwarebytes Premium or MCSoft. Those are the two I recommend. There's several others you can use, but if you're not paying for it, there's nobody you can complain to. There's nobody there to support you, and there's nothing to complain about. You got what was free, which is basically worthless. other than consuming resources and creating a lot of pop-ups on your screen. Programs like AVG, Avira, Avast, all they do is fill you up with pop-ups, and they really don't do much in terms of protecting you. It's security theater. Makes you feel like you got protection, and you do have some protection with them, but it doesn't compare. You don't get the kind of protection you get with a paid solution from a big, from a popular, well-respected company like I was going to say Kaspersky. Some people don't like Kaspersky, but there's ESET, Nod32. There's, I don't know, in the chat, they'll probably tell you what they're using. But if you use a free piece of software, you get what you get. And it's no. If you're going to ask me if it's any good, if it's free, it's not any good. Not when it comes to security. If you're just pawning off your security to somebody to protect you for free, good luck with that plan in life. Trend Micro, sure, Trend Micro's good. I don't care what you use for antivirus. I'm not here to sell you antivirus. I'm just telling you, if you pick a free one, you have no support, and you're going to get a lot of advertising and pop-ups, because when the product is free, the product is you. And the security, the way it's going to protect you is far inferior to all the paid options. Is that good enough for you? I don't know. What's your identity worth? I guess it's worth free. Nothing. Go for it. Let somebody take your social security number. I don't care. But you asked, and I'm telling you, if you were my customer, I would not support you, because you would put me out of business, potentially. It's too much liable. If you want to be reactive instead of proactive, I don't live my life that way. If you want to wait until your identity gets stolen to deal with it, you live your life that way. I can't maintain a business that way. Everything has to be proactive. We spend a little bit now, so we don't have to spend a lot later. So, but, do what you want. It has no impact on me. JD Harris has contributed $10. He says, hey, Kerry, I'm finally able to attend a live broadcast. I'm so glad to be here. Hey, JD, we're glad to have you here, and thank you for your contribution and your support. I really appreciate that. I'll make you a moderator, my friend. Maybe that'll get you in here a little more during the live. I know there's a big time difference from people that watch around the world. Not everybody has a social security number, for example, but people all have identities, and they're all available to be stolen. And if you're going to if you go out on the internet with 100,000 new threats released each and every day, and you're going to rely on a free protection software, wow, that's all I can say. You don't comprehend the dangers of what you're doing. The internet evolves at a pace that you couldn't even comprehend. Each and every hour, do you have any idea how many new threats are released? It's mind-boggling. Kerry, do you have any thoughts on semantic endpoint protection? It's typically used in corporate offices and things like that, where semantic does a very good job. Semantic doesn't really shine, in my opinion, in the home environment, but in the business environment, where you've got a server and you've got to monitor hundreds or thousands of workstations, it's really good. Once again, I want to remind people in the chat, if you're going to contradict me, you have your own ability to make your own videos. You're not to stand on my stage and talk to my audience and contradict me. That's a quick way to get yourself booted out. Boom, there goes an example right now. If you think I'm joking, this is not a joke. We are a highly supportive community. If you don't want to be supportive, you go make your own videos and create your own community. I'm not stopping you. In the meantime, everybody else, I'm sorry that we have to put up with people like that, but we'll do our best to, with the friends in blue here, to make sure that those people are made aware that they're not welcome here. But everybody else, everybody who's friendly and kind to each other and appreciates the information, I give you all a big hug. You guys are awesome. So don't let those people poison the community well. We'll just boot them out. Once they're gone, they can never come back in. William Dawson says, I'd like to have $1 for every new threat that is released daily. In the time it would take me to hand you the dollar, I would owe you $100 more. I couldn't hand you the dollars fast enough. The threats come out faster than a human hand can move. It's profound. Oh, we ready for a restart? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Wait a minute, I'm on the wrong screen. Like, why isn't my mouse moving? There it is. All right, there's my mouse. Here we go. Jamer says, the only person I'm not agreeable to is myself, right? I'm the same way. I'm my toughest critic. Nobody's harder on me than me. You can't hold a candle to my inner voice telling me I can always do better, no matter what I do. It's sad that there are so many threats and attacks. Well, that's the reason there's so many threats and attacks is because they work, because people don't think they need antivirus, or people think they can rely on free antivirus, or people think they know everything and they don't need an antivirus because they don't do those kind of mistakes. They're completely oblivious to the exploits that exist in the software they install and the chips and the chipsets, the CPUs. There's all these different exploits, and just being connected to the internet is all it takes. You don't have to push any buttons, just powering on the machine. The blaster worm really confused a lot of people when that happened. If they weren't behind a router, they instantly got infected. Brand new machine, out of the box, plugged it in, and by the time the desktop came up, they were already infected. That's how it works. It's hard for non-technical people to understand that. Other people think they're technical people, but they don't actually understand the depth of it, because a good virus is one that you don't even know you've got. So if you don't have an antivirus to tell you you have a virus, how would you ever know? That's the kind of logic. It's like, if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. We don't use that kind of insane narcissism. It reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where you could get these glasses, and if danger appeared, the glasses turned black so you couldn't see it, and therefore you wouldn't panic and everything would be okay. Hence, don't panic. If you see that a lot, it's a nerd reference to a 1970s novel by a man named Douglas Adams, series of novels called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And it's very satirical. But it's this idea that, if you stick your head in the sand and you don't see the danger, then the danger doesn't exist. These days of viruses causing your computer to put random stuff on your screen and be annoying, that was in the 80s. This isn't the 80s and the 90s anymore. Viruses this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it works. And as long as there are people out there giving out bad advice that you don't need antivirus, those are the people who are the ones who have the viruses, and they don't even know they've got it. So be aware and be very, very wary of people like that, because it's the same kind of guy that walks up to you and says, hey, did you know the word gullible is not in the dictionary? And then you go and look it up and they laugh at you. Those are not your friends. Those are just jerks. And that's all you need to know. And when I ban people like that, what I know is they will never say anything that's useful to our community. So I never regret banning anybody like that. Once they've made it clear that that's their state of mind, they offer no value to this community. Let's go to Windows Update and check for updates. But the good news is we've got 1,010 of you watching right now, and you're all awesome, and we've only banned 2. 2 out of 1,010 is pretty good. I like that. I'll take those numbers all day long. We got a few more contributions. Let's give a few shouts out to some more awesome people in the community. Tay London has contributed £14.99. Always great. Taylor England, thank you. And another one comes in from Steve Caruso, contributing $15 US. He says, I have a desktop I would like to donate to the channel. I will email you for info. Keep up the good work on videos and hope the desktop I send will help somebody who really needs it. Very good. That'd be awesome, Steve. Thank you. We do give away desktops here. We're going to take care of our own. See, that's the other thing. These people that come in and they try to be smarter than everybody else to the point that they get themselves booted. They'll never win a computer. They'll never get anything. This is how karma works. You get what you give. People don't like a know-it-all. You're better off coming in and being nice and keeping, if you disagree with something, it's okay to say, hey, I disagree, but I respect your point of view. There's no problem with that. But if you don't say anything at all, that's even better. And you have a YouTube channel, you have a cell phone with a camera. If you know so much, fire it up and create your own videos. I would love for you to do that. If you know so much and I do such a terrible job, show me how it's done. It's real easy. You've got a cell phone, why aren't you doing it? Whatever your excuse is, if you're not doing it, then nothing you say has any value to me. Unless you're positive and supportive, in which case you're awesome because you're an awesome person, and that karma will make you a happier person and a better life. That's just the way nature works. I can't explain it, but we've witnessed it enough here on the channel to know that it's true. So I've got all the Windows updates installed now. Let me go and make a few modification changes that I like to make to Windows 10. One is I like to get rid of this people thing over here. Let's get rid of that people, show people. I'm not a people person. And then let's turn off drive indexing to free up some solid state drive space. We'll right click, go to properties, and uncheck the indexing box. Click OK and continue, and then we're going to hit ignore all and let that process. And while we're waiting for that, we can go to the command prompt. Whoops. Hold on. There I am. We go to the command prompt. It helps when I use the right keyboard. I have two keyboards here. And we're going to disable the hibernation file. If you have 32 gigs of RAM, then you have a 32 gig hibernation file eating up precious space on your solid state drive. Hibernation files are for laptops or battery operated devices. It doesn't make sense to run it on a desktop. So power CFG -H off disables that and frees that 32 gigs up. And I type exit, that's going to bring us right back. Now I'm going to go in the control panel, CON, that'll take us to the control panel. And we're going to do our traditional large icon display, which is familiar to me since I've been in this business a long time. I like what's familiar. Click on the system icon. We'll go to advanced system settings, scroll to settings under startup and recovery, and uncheck the automatically restart. And that's if there's a blue screen error, the screen will freeze on the blue screen instead of restarting without giving you an opportunity to read what the screen says. I ask my customers to take a picture of the screen with their phone and send it to me for me to help them. But if it's on automatic restart, it happens in a flash. Nobody can read it. It's there and gone. So that's good there. And what else do I do? That closed. We can close that. We'll wait for indexing to finish before I go any further. It just finished. So now I'm going to type in the word storage, S-T-O-R, and you'll see it takes me to storage settings up there, highlighted in blue. I press enter, and I'm going to turn a feature on called Storage Sense. Windows can automatically free up space by getting rid of files you don't need, like temporary files and content in your recycle bin. Turn that on. How frequently should it run? It should run every month, once a month. Temporary files every 30 days, and let's free up space now. This will take just a moment as it runs and it clears up those Windows updates, any temp files. Again, solid state drive space is precious, so we want to clear that up as much as possible. That already appears to have finished, and let's restart, and let's see how long it takes for this bad boy to boot. If you've got a stopwatch, get ready to pay attention to how many seconds this is going to take. Are we ready? Set. On your marks, go. Boom. Well, we're not at the desktop. Now we're at the desktop. Look at that. And we just connected to Wi-Fi. We just connected to the Wi-Fi. And if we want to just make sure everything is the way it should be, we can go into the control panel one more time, if I can type it right. And we can go to the system icon one more time, and we can see the specifications of the system right here. 32 gigs of RAM, 31.9 is usable. That's because the graphics card is built in and it needs to steal some memory from your system memory. Each graphics card has to have its own RAM, but built-in graphics steals memory from your system. So if you only have 2 gigs of RAM, which is not really enough to run Windows 10, it'll crawl Windows 10, but it won't run it. And then on top of that, you're using built-in video. It's going to steal some of that 2 gigs for your video. So getting a discrete graphics card will always have its own memory, freeing up more of your RAM for you. It notices or recognizes the Intel Core i7-6770HQ, running currently at 2.6 gigahertz. Now we can look for a BIOS update. How do we do that? We're going to go to whatever your browser is. Some people are very passionate about their browsers. Those people should get out more. I've got Edge here, which is fine. We've got an Intel NUC BIOS, and the model number of this NUC is what? What did I say it was? I can type the model number in. It's a real long, funky, here it is. It's on the back of the box. Where is it? I got a version number, UPC code. Here it is. It's a 6i7 KYK1. Now we can look at the Google results, and this is taking us to Intel right here. Downloads for the Intel NUC 6i7KYK, that's perfect. And let's see, we've got some drivers, Intel Management Engine, HD. Most of this is all going to come down automatically from Windows Update. Now here's a BIOS update right here. It's the version, what looks like 86A. Just pay attention to those last few numbers right there. And it's, actually it's version 0060. That's our version. And it says this is the latest version released on 1/22/2019. How do I know what version I've got now? Well, if I minimize this, I have a flash drive. Right here that has some utilities on it. And one of those utilities I like to use is called CPU-Z. It's free. And I'm just going to plug this flash drive into any available USB port. And then let's switch back over. And let's go to the USB drive right here. CPU-Z is right there. Click yes. Let's get this out of the way because I don't need to look at that. And this tells us all about our chip. This tells us all about our main board. And it tells us our BIOS version right in here. So if you look real carefully, because Intel's a little tricky about this, it looks like our BIOS version, my screen is way too small, guys. Let's see. Now I can read it. 54. BIOS version, right where the mouse is pointing, is 54, 0054. And the current version is 0060. Now you don't have to get 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59. You just get the latest one. And so the way I'm going to do that, remember I just minimized the browser here. And we're going to say we want this BIOS update. And it says, do you want OS independent? Sometimes there's one that works within Windows. Which file to choose? UEFI BIOS allows updating the BIOS from the shell, requires a USB flash drive. UEFI BIOS update. None of these say that. Oh, right here, UEFI. So we'll grab that file, accept the license agreement, save it. So only a 6.6 meg file. It should download rather quickly. We'll just take a moment while we're waiting for that. And while I'm waiting, I have a flash drive that I will show you. This is a blank 2 gig flash drive, and I put a little sticker on it that says BIOS. Every time I use this, I always erase it when I'm done. You only use a BIOS file once, and you never use it again, unless you have a bunch of the same board. But once the BIOS is flashed, you never flash that same version again. So I always keep a blank FAT32 formatted or just FAT formatted flash drive so the BIOS can read it. And I'm going to put this into another USB port here. If I can find one that it's, yeah, we'll put it in the back. There we go. And I'm going to click open, and I'm going to extract these two files. So we'll go up here to extract, and we're going to take it right to that 2 gig flash drive. Oh, see, I left a BIOS on here from an Asus board. That's okay. Let's go ahead and say, let me delete it. Let's delete that. The auto run just adds that little graphic to the desktop when you do that. So where was I? I was extracting. Where did it go? Extract to, extract all, browse. Let's pick the flash drive and click select folder and extract. Just like that. And then let's close this and close this. And I'm going to bookmark this page because I'm going to come back to, well, not this page, but the page before it. I'm going to come back here a little later, so let's bookmark that. There we go. We'll close this, we'll close this, and we're going to shut the computer down. You'll see how fast this shuts down. And now the NUC is off. I'm going to take my flash drive out that has my utilities, and I'm going to turn the computer back on, and I'm going to press F2 on the keyboard. As soon as I see that NUC screen, you'll see the bottom right, it says F2 to, oh, F7 to update BIOS. I should have hit F7, but I think I can still get there. Let's see. Here's what the BIOS looks like. And let's go to advanced. Devices, cooling, security. Is it under security? Power. Boot. Update BIOS. See right down here it says update. Press F7. And now it's looking at these 4 different drive locations. And that's the one I want right there. The ky006.bio. That's the BIOS file. Click open. Do you wish to update the BIOS to 0060? Yes, I do. Now be patient. You see the screen went blank. It's okay. Just let it sit. Don't touch it. Don't unplug it. Don't interrupt it. It's going to reboot. Now Intel does this a little weird. Watch how Intel does this. It's kind of cool. It's a little old school. It's very important you leave it alone. Don't press any keys. Don't unplug the power. That should have done something. Let's go back. I'm not sure what happened here. Let's do it one more time. Restart. This time I'm going to press F7. So F7 to update BIOS. And we see Intel SSD. How about unknown device? That's probably what we want. That's the file I want. Are you sure? Yes. Enter is yes. Interesting how it gave us 2 different types of screens, but it doesn't seem to be updating the BIOS, which means, oh, there it is. It's doing it now. At the top of the screen, you'll see it says we're in version 0054. You see that right in the middle? It says KYSKLI70.86A.0054.2018. Then the one below it says the same thing, but it's 0060.2019, and then the build number. And then it scrolls down through these preparing images, and this is very old school style of firmware updating. And again, it's nothing to be worried about. It's nothing to fear. Just don't let it interrupt. Don't interrupt it. Don't cut the power. Don't press any keys. Don't be playing with your mouse. Just leave it alone until it boots back into the Windows desktop. It's really that simple. People overcomplicate stuff because they have too much time on their hands and they're techno-hydrophobes. Hydrochondriac. They're techno-hydrochondriac. I'll get this word. Technical hypochondriacs. I need a shorter term for that. And it does require patience. So just be patient and you'll see that this goes, where am I? Right here. You'll see all that's right over there. Right over it. Oh, there it goes. Everything's backwards. When you're facing the camera, everything's the other way around. Anyway, it's going to boot up again. It still may not be done flashing. It still may do another update. It depends if, like the Thunderbolt interface may flash separately, and Thunderbolt does often have separate firmware updates that are part of the package. Sometimes they're not. We're just going to let it boot normally. You'll see I haven't adjusted anything in the BIOS. We're sticking with all the default values. Windows still loads, right? Nothing broke there. I'm done with the flash drive, so I can erase the flash drive now, which I didn't do before. That was embarrassing. So we'll take the file off the flash drive. We'll click on that and hit delete. And we'll click on this one and we'll delete it as well. And now my flash drive is empty again. Like I said, that auto run, all it does is it adds the little icon. So if I click on this PC, see how it put that little icon right there? It looks like a little flash drive. That's part of what Rufus does if you format a flash drive with Rufus. Google Rufus if you don't know what it is. I'm going to eject the flash drive now. Thank you very little. And I'm going to plug my utilities flash drive back in. And we're going to run CPU-Z, and we should see the current BIOS version is 0060 now. So here we go on the main board. I have to make my screen bigger. I cannot see, it's too small. Yep, 0060 is the latest BIOS. We're all current and up to date. Now let me go back to find that LED software. That should be somewhere. Let's go back to those bookmarks. Oh, favorites. So we don't have to search for that again. So we've got a Bluetooth driver there. We don't need that. Wireless driver management, driver. Card reader, rapid storage, no. HD graphics, no. Let's just do a search for software applications and see if the LED software. Display optimizer, secure guard, no. Nothing. Operating system, Windows 10, 64-bit. Drivers, Bluetooth, Thunderbolt Bay, Realtek, infrared driver, chipset driver, HD. These are older versions. You'll see some of the same drivers listed over and over. You'll see it's previously released. Some people, for whatever reason, have a problem with the latest driver. This gives them the ability to go back to the previous. Always look for the latest. This is something Intel does. Not every manufacturer does this. I don't find the LED software, and there's no software included. So how do I control that LED, that skull? That's the question I have right now. And if anybody in the chat knows, if you would post a link, that would save me the effort of having to find it. Maruf has contributed $5. He says, great to hear your voice, having a bad couple of days at work, and this is just what I need to ease the stress. Right on, Maruf. Thank you for contributing. And you can rewind this live feed right now. DVR mode is turned on. Let's see what we got here. Russ Martin contributed $10. He says, hey, Kerry, awesome content as always. I sent you a few emails this past week, wondering if you'd review them. Starting to learn OBS. It's amazing. It can be very addicting. Russ, I have been inundated with emails, and I'm sorry, I just don't have time. I just don't have time. I'm so far behind in work. I've got to take care of my customers first and foremost. And I'm, you know, if you were buying something from me, I'd be right there with you, my man. But you wouldn't believe what I went through today with people. I've had about 6 people just on Facebook asking me for free questions, asking me to answer. Like I'm their personal tech support guy. They've already watched my content for free. They've offered nothing in return, and they keep asking for more. And I'm trying to be polite. Anyway, it's just time, man. I just don't have time. But it's all good. Good luck with it. I'm sure if you do enough Googling, you'll find the answers you're looking for. Yeah, so I'm trying to find the LED software for JD posted the link. Ah, there it is. JD. Thank you, JD. Available downloads, LED Manager install. Okay, so, but I'm on the streaming computer. I need to get it on the NUC. So I think what I need to do, well, that's all right. You know what? I'll download it on the streamer, and then I'm going to copy it over to the BIOS flash drive since that's empty now. So let me just plug the BIOS flash drive into the streamer, and then I will copy this file. Thank you, JD, for that. And let's actually, I'll cut it and paste it to the 2 gig flash drive. Yeah, those little 2 gig flash drives, man, those are just wonderful to have. There we go. And then I want to eject the flash drive. That turns the light off on the flash drive, which tells me it's safe to remove. And then on this flash drive that's plugged into the NUC, I can eject that one right now. So let's go back so I can see. Let me go full screen. When I go full screen, I can see the screen, but I can't see you guys chatting, so that's why that happens. And let me go down here and let's eject my utilities flash drive. Let's get that out of there. Thank you. We'll set it here because we're not done with that yet. We'll plug this one in. And let's go to open the file folder, and let's LED Manager installer. Accept the license agreement, install, yes, next. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Error? What do you mean error? Oh, it's doing something. Let's give it a name. Let's try test and add a profile. Oh, well, that's not helping me much. That's not working. Oh, there may be something in the BIOS. Let's go look at the BIOS real quick. So I'm going to hit F2 on restart, and let's take a look, because I'm in such a hurry. I just wanted to get Windows 10 installed and updated real quick, and I wanted to see what was going to happen automatically so I don't duplicate any work. And now we get in here, and we've got a few options. We want to go to Advanced. And we got the date and time, our memory and the speed of the memory. Is that even right? Or is this XMP memory? I can't remember. We'll find out in a minute. Under devices, you can change this portable charging mode so that you can have it charging even when the computer's in standby. USB ports can be enabled or disabled for security reasons. SATA configuration is in AHCI mode. Hard drive activity LED is turned on, the M.2 LED. So you can turn the lights off basically if they annoy you. Memory all looks good. Onboard devices, I don't see anything about the LEDs. You can even make the SD card read only, again, for security reasons in a corporation where you don't want somebody stealing corporate secrets. Of course, they could still film the screen with a camera behind there. over their shoulder, but not much you can do about that. It says slot 2 recognizes our 1 terabyte PCIe by 4. That's all very good. Cooling, we get all our information on cooling. We can change that to balance to more aggressive or quieter. I leave it alone. Under performance, if there is a, let's see, I was going to say if there, oh, here it is under memory. If there's a XMP profile, there it is, 2667, we can turn that on. Security settings and security features are all through here. Power options, which is good. If you turn max performance on, this thing is going to it's going to run 100% all the time, so I don't recommend that on these small machines. Let it ramp up as it needs to, but that's your decision to make. Boot options, boot orders. I don't want this in the boot order. Can I remove it? Doesn't matter, we ain't gonna get there. You can take a photo with the screen right here, favorite the screen. I wonder what the wrench does. Oh, okay, screen capture, basically all the buttons up here. And then save and exit is F10, so I didn't see anything about the LED there. So let me just click once out of that menu, and then I'll hit F10, and yes. And now we're gonna have the extreme memory profile turned on. If there's any system instability, which can happen with some memory and motherboards, just turn XMP back off. I never seen a real difference with XMP on or off, except in benchmarking software, but I haven't really noticed it in real life. So let's see what happens if we boot up okay with XMP turned on. It's not even that much faster. We went from 2400 to 2667, so it's not like it's gonna be much of a difference. It's fractions of milliseconds at this point. There's your boot time, which, you know, hello. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with this LED software. Let's try now that we've restarted after installing it. Boy, I don't even see an option for, oh, right here, LED manager for Intel NUC. Doesn't even start. Doesn't even start. So I'm not quite sure if that's the right software for this NUC. Let's take a look. Look at the NUC. I think Skull Canyon doesn't have an LED skull. Oh, you might be right. Now that you mention it, you might be right. Let me see the box. Oh, there's no pictures. There's no pictures. Wah, wah. No LED skull? Then what's the point of the skull? I was going to say when I took the bottom off of it, no wires were attached, but the skull's on the top. It's not on the bottom. I wonder if that model just doesn't light up. Somebody thinks that there is an LED controller in the power options. Todd Ector has contributed 10 Canadian dollars. Thank you, Todd. This download is valid for the NUC 8. I don't have a NUC 8, do I? What do I have? What is the model of this? This is a NUC, this is a NUC 6. Maybe that's the problem. I need it for the NUC 6. That may be the problem. And it says the Intel NUC, it's the NUC 8. Well, that would explain That would explain why there was no LED software in the download section, wouldn't it? What a bummer. I was looking forward to my skull lighting up, but nothing a magic marker can't fix. You know, paint it with some black light colors and hit it with a black light, and there you go. Job done. No software required. I'm bummed out though. I thought that skull was going to light up. Ah, well, for $534, I guess I can't really complain. I don't want it to light up anyway. I was just going to do it for the video. And once I was done with the video, I was going to shut it down because it's just annoying to me. But cool to show off to friends, something I don't want to live with every day, but definitely something I would show off to friends. Why am I looking at that? That's not right. Let's close that. Let's run some other benchmarks on this. Let's take a look at how fast this Intel SSD is. Remember, I said it's about 3 times faster than a regular SATA M.2 drive. Let's uninstall the LED software while I'm thinking about it. So we'll go to the apps. We'll go right here to apps. And we'll look for the LED manager, LED, because that's not good for this system. So let's take it out of there. No harm done, but I don't want to leave it on there if it doesn't work. Thank you guys for catching that. I appreciate that eagle eye you guys have. I just assumed if it had the skull, it lit up. What do I know? And hence, there's another lid you can put on that doesn't have the skull if you don't like that look. And then let's extract this BIOS flash drive now that I've erased it again. It's ready for the next build. So let's get that out of here. And let's put the utilities disk back on and let's run Crystal Disk Mark and see how fast, see what our performance numbers are. Obviously, if I threw a Samsung 970 Pro in there, it would be screaming. It would hit the maximum throughput allowed. We're not going to have that problem with the QLC-based M.2 that I'm using. But like I said, it was less than half the price. So let's do this thing, and let's see what kind of numbers we get. Anybody want to bet what kind of numbers we get? You better hurry up because the numbers are going to show up real quick. I'm going to guess 1,700 to 1,800 on the read. Oh, 1932. Good year if you are James, not James Dean. If you are James Cagney, that was a good year. 1934. Number keeps going up. Now a basic, a regular SATA, the fastest SATA drive you can get is about 560. And it'll cost you the same amount of money for a 1 terabyte SATA M2 as this M2 costs that does 1934 on the sequential reads. So why would you even consider SATA? And yes, that was my dog that just burped a minute ago. Well done, buddy. They could hear you. The burp heard round the world. He gets that from his dad. I'm so proud. CPU heat test. I'm not going to run a CPU heat test on this because I can tell you right now, it is not designed to run Prime 95 on it with all the cores flat out at 100%. That's just the dumbest thing you could possibly do. If you understand what the purpose of this machine is, then beating it with a hammer would also be equivalent to that test. It is not designed for that type of abuse, nor would one reasonably expect it to withstand that without thermal throttling. I can pretty much guarantee you, if you hit all the cores at 100% on any miniaturized PC, it doesn't matter who makes it, you are going to hit your thermal throttle point probably in less than 3 minutes, maybe 6 minutes if you're lucky. So running that test is pointless. That is not a machine designed for that use, so we won't waste our time. It won't cause any damage, but there's nothing to be gained from it. There's no way it's going to pass that without overheating, I promise you. It's just what comes with this form factor. You make certain sacrifices. If you're going to hammer on a CPU that hard, get yourself a desktop and a good cooler that's designed to handle that kind of a beating. This is not that. This will gladly hook up to your television and stream your 4K or 8K content to your 4K or 8K TV, and it won't even break a sweat. Use it what it's designed to be used for. It'd be like somebody, I don't know, using a screwdriver like a chisel. It's a great way to break your screwdriver. Buy a chisel if you need a chisel, and use your screwdriver as a screwdriver. That's why they make chisels, and that's why they make screwdrivers. This is not a one-size-fits-all. Even the read speeds, even the write speeds are almost identical to the read speeds on this Intel 660p. 1 terabyte, under $120, and look at sequential writes at 1769.1 and reads at 1934. That's amazing when you consider the most you'll ever see on SATA. The peak of that technology is 560 megabytes a second. You won't see anything any faster than that unless you have something like rapid mode or caching enabled. And that's because of cache, right? If you understand what cache is. And that's about it, man. That is, Jamie Williams says, that would be like trying to run Crisis on a literal potato. It's a potato crisis. Yeah, the right tool for the right job, guys. Come on, be reasonable, be practical. And if you want to do it to your own stuff, you do it to your stuff, because that's just a waste of time. We already know what it's going to do. We know it's going to throttle, because it's not made for that. That's it for this video. I think that wraps it up. There's your performance numbers. You've seen the BIOS update. You've seen the build. You've seen the unit. You look at how tiny this is. Look at this bad boy. Look at this thing. This is on and running right now. There's no moving parts. You can flop it around. There's nothing you can do to damage it while it's on or it's off, apart from crushing it or, I don't know, putting it in a dryer and under high heat. Heat will damage it. But you could, it's not indestructible, but it's very, very durable. It's small. It's out of the way. It's super, super fast. You saw the boot time. And for the price, that's an incredible value. You're not going to be upgrading it, once you upgrade your RAM and once you put your solid state drive in, RAM and SSD is all you can do. You're not going to be upgrading the cooling. Maybe you can put an external graphics card, but if you really need a gaming computer, go buy a gaming computer. That's not what this is for, right? Right tool for the right job. Otherwise, you're going to lead a life of disappointment. If you have unrealistic expectations, and you think you're getting away with something, you're not. You're not getting away with it by spending less for a smaller machine that's going to smoke your friends in your FPS shooter. Ain't going to happen. You get what you pay for. This is a great value for what it is and for the right needs. Any office, like the customers that I have that run offices, from dentists to accountants, they would definitely benefit from this by freeing up their desk space. Have you seen a CPA, like an accountant, right now during this time of year? Have you seen their desks? When you go see your tax man in the United States, typically their desks, there's no empty space on them. It's just paperwork. So if you've got a big computer there, they probably have paperwork stacked on it. But with something like this, you could mount it on the back of the monitor. It's much cleaner and you have more space on your desk for more paperwork. So it would be ideal for that. It'd be ideal for people that have to get work done. If you're a gamer, this isn't for you. Anyway, I think it's great. I think it's really, really cool. It's really, really fast. And even though there's nothing wrong with the old NUC, I still think I'm going to upgrade my wife, whether she likes it or not. But then I don't know what I'll do with this. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll donate it to somebody. It'll be the cheapest computer to ship. I can't imagine this will cost more than $15 to ship it. In the meantime, let me make sure I got all the contributions, all the acknowledgments for everybody who's contributed, because I might have missed a few. So one more quick shout out to all the contributors. Todd Ector, Jamie Munoz, James Johnston says, love your channel, enjoying your builds and diagnostic videos. Keep up the good work, educating the masses. Hey, I'm trying, James. Thank you for being a part of this amazing community. Maroof, Russ Martin, Mark's Brother 715, Stephen Barber, Andrew Lipinski, Chuck Dillon contributed $20. Hey, thank you, Chuck. Sorry for the late shout out there. I missed it. Glenn Baldoff, Steve Caruso, Tay London, JD Harris. And thanks for your help with the link, JD. Just too bad it was for the wrong version, you know? I missed it too. Dozy B contributed $3 Canadian. Andrew Lipinski again. He says, Carrie, you're an inspiration as always. Thank you, Andrew. John Yasuda, he's got a build coming up on Friday, I think. We're going to be building a computer for John. Tom Miller, Winston Anglu, Road Dog Gaming, Randy Ruff, Security Van Man, Dimitri, John Sudbury, Gennaro Jose Maria LaRosa, Art Awesome, Jesse Kirk says, in my humble opinion, you are the best. Great tech as always, Carrie. Love the videos. Happy Tuesday. Oh, Jesse, you're the best. Thank you so much. Paul Hoynick says, love the videos. George Hearn says, love the program. Keep up the good work. I love it. Thank you. Thomas M says, new subscriber. I started working on my laptop because of you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Thomas. Rick Hubbard, Ben DeCoeur, Nikolai Lokanov, Tony Wallow was the first person to contribute, kicked us all off. You guys are amazing. I'm so honored and I'm so thrilled that you're all part of this incredible community. And I'm just thrilled to continue to watch it grow with more and more amazing people. We just have to find them or they have to find us. William Lundy just contributed $2 New Zealand dollars. Thank you so much. Can I ship the NUC to the UK? Absolutely not. You will understand that to ship this to the UK will probably cost about $300 after you figure in the fees and taxes that the UK your government's going to put on this when it arrives. I'm estimating, and it would be cheaper for you to buy it in the UK. That's what these governments want. So I'm not ever shipping outside the United States again. You're not saving any money. If you want to save money, buy within your country, support your country, or you're going to pay out the nose because your country wants to encourage you to support your local economy. Michael Lee's contributed $7. Hey, Michael, thank you for that. Let's make sure Michael is a moderator. Oh, he is. Very good. Thank you, Michael. And is Andrew Lipinski a moderator? You are now. Who else did I miss? Todd Ector, moderator. James Johnston, moderator. I can't get to that $20 one. Who was the guy that contributed 20? Where is he? Where is he? I feel bad I didn't announce it right away. Chuck Dillon. Let's make sure Chuck Dillon is a moderator. He is now. Thank you guys so much. Listen, I plan on being back live. It'll be a little bit later than normal tomorrow. Well, earlier than today, but later than normal. I do try to go live. I try to go live Monday through Friday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. I started late today and I'm ending late today. I'm already half an hour over where I want to be. Some days I can't go live for various reasons. It was a big thunderstorm earlier today, but it cleared out. You wouldn't have been able to hear me, the thunder and then the dogs bark. It gets a little crazy. So there's times like that when I can't go live. Other times there are issues that I have to deal with, personal issues or private issues, and customers to help, phone calls to return. I spent all of Monday, all of yesterday, I was on the phone the entire day, but I think I got everybody, all the phone calls returned. I think I got all the emails for people who, there's people that have contributed through the PayPal link. And I always send a thank you to anybody who does that. And I was 3 weeks behind. So I had a ton of emails to reply to. I got all that done. And next I got to stuff envelopes for people, anybody who contributes $20 or more who wants a case badge. I have to do it all myself. So I have to get the letters printed and I have to, you know, some people are 2 case badges and I have to sort, okay, that one I paid, that one I didn't. They all go in separate folders, get them all stamped. Certain stamps to go outside the United States, different stamps within the US, mark it as shipped, move on to the next one. I still have all that work ahead of me to do. So if you've been waiting on a case badge for the last 3 weeks, I'm sorry they haven't gone out yet. It is a priority to me. There's just one of me, and I'm doing the best I can, and I appreciate your patience. Thank you very much. If you're worried it might have got lost in the mail, feel free to send me an email and say, hey, It's okay. You know, you're not bothering me. It's good. And I thank you guys so much for all of your support. If you like the video and you want to see more like this, be sure and hit that that like button, that thumbs up button, and it'll turn blue. You just go clicky clicky, it'll turn blue. And if you like the content and you want to be made aware when I go live, be sure you hit the red square subscribe button right down there, and then click that bell until it has those little lines around it. That turns the notifications on. But if you're not getting the notifications, just check in with YouTube between 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. You'll probably catch me if I am going to go live that day. That's what I'm trying to do, and I hope to work my way there with, you know, stuff happening with life notwithstanding. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I can't wait to get this NUC to work. Getting it not to work, it works fine, but putting it to work is what I mean to say. And for all my friends in blue in the chat, thank you for joining me. Thank you for keeping the chat room civil. And to everybody who is not blue yet, it is my goal to one day turn you blue. And the way that happens is that you become a familiar face to me, somebody that I recognize as being friendly and supportive. And over time, I will recognize you. It's not just people who contribute financially, but people who contribute they share my links on Facebook or LinkedIn or Snapchat or Instagram or Twitter. Share the links. That's another way to support me. There are links to Amazon below the note in the video. Below the video, there's these video notes that has a link to the NUC and the RAM and all the things I talked about, this Lazy Susan, all that stuff is in there. And if you click on one of those Amazon links and you make a purchase, I make a small commission from that. The price doesn't change for you. In fact, if you're going to make an Amazon purchase of anything and you use one of my links to take you to Amazon, even if it's a product you don't want, while you're in that open browser session and you're in Amazon, anything you add to your cart in purchase, I will make a commission from. And that's a great way to support the channel because it's not costing you 1 cent more. And you don't need a direct link to the product. Any of my Amazon links that take you to Amazon, you can then search in Amazon for whatever you want. As long as you're in that same browser session, I will make a small commission. And if everybody does that, it adds up. You might think, well, I'm only buying a $5 thing. Well, if 734 of you watching are buying a $5 thing and I make 5 cents from that each day, that adds up quite a bit at the end of 30 days. So I appreciate your support, however you choose to support, whether it's just by being a kind member of the community, being supportive of our friends in the chat room, whether you share links on your social media sites that you partake in, whether it's you contribute financially, any of that is all welcome. And as I said, as I recognize you as a familiar face, I will gladly turn you blue. It is my goal to turn you all blue. I'm a blue maker, baby. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you all again tomorrow afternoon. Until then, bye for now.